Hello, right? Today I want to make a presidential tier list, talking about my opinions about the presidents I have the most knowledge over. Of course, there will be a few presidents I won't rank because I simply just don't have the knowledge to really talk about them. So first, starting off strong with G Dub, we gotta put him in S tier because he kept the nation together, and he just kept the nation like that's an accomplishment on its own. Even if he didn't do anything else, if he just held it together, and he's the reason we're here today and not divided into 50 states that are their own countries. Now, Thomas Jefferson, he was a good president, but I do think he became president at too young of an age. So I'm putting him in A tier because he did buy Louisiana, which was good. He expanded our territory. Um, he was a little bit brash, so I do think he would have been a better president if he waited until he was a little bit older. John Adams, I really do like John Adams a lot more than some other people. He kept us out of war with France. Now I think if somebody like Thomas Jefferson or Hamilton was president, I could very easily see us go to war with the French. But John Adams kept us out of the war, and that by himself gets him in A tier. Um, Andrew Jackson. For me, I really haven't researched him in a while, so maybe I'm not totally really shouldn't be saying anything. But he was an he was a good president economically. But one thing that I really don't like him for, which I know most like pre Civil War presidents are um guilty of, is the way he treated Native Americans and how he pushed them out of Florida. And because he's the guy that got us Florida. Of course, I do like him as a general. He won the Battle of New Orleans, so that's how he won. But and also he didn't really he supported slavery, so like he's B tier for me. The only reason I would have him at C tier, but the only reason is because he is still one of the early presidents, and he wasn't totally awful. It's this Calvin Cooley. I can't really say his name, but I really do like him for his economic stance, and I will probably put him above John. Yeah, at top of A tier. He also only served one term. I'm pretty sure. If I'm thinking of somebody else, please tell me. But I'm pretty sure that's who I'm thinking of, and he only served one term. He did amazing economically, and he was a pretty good president overall. Abraham. Oh, I do not want to print. Oh, I do not want to print that. Abraham Lincoln is obviously S tier. In my opinion, he was a better president than George Washington, but that was only because the only reason I have him above G Dub is because we were in a civil war and he held us through that and got us to the end. ULSS Grant. Uh, I'm gonna put him C tier. He would be D tier, but the reason I have him at C tier is because he did help rebuild the nation after the Civil War a little bit. So he did keep us. He did start the reuniting phases, but of course his scandals move him down to C tier. Herbert Hoover, F tier. I do think if he was president during the 1920s, he would be like a B tier, A tier. But the way he handled the Great Depression was awful. And let me go into a little bit of history. What he did is whenever the stock markets crash, to try to do a quick fix, he put tariffs on um, American goods to other countries to hopefully try and make American goods more valuable. Now, all that did was a lot of trade partners with the U.S. just stop trading with us, and it crashed the stock market even more. So, F tier. I'll get into that for a little bit. FDR. Okay, if it he got us through the Great Depression. Now, a lot of people argue with how he handled it, but he did much better with Herbert Hoover, and he was a leader of confidence. People believed in him and believed in what he was doing and believed that he was helping us get through the Great Depression. And I think that matters more than if they really did. Also, amazing commander during World War II. He he is the reason we are a world superpower today, and he's the reason that we haven't had any major like a war like World War II or World War One in such a long time. And he also set up America to win the Cold War. Now, the one thing that's sort of holding me back from having he was better than John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. A lot of some people also don't really like him because, well, of course, because one awful thing he did was his treatment of Japanese U.S. citizens, which was awful, especially in the 1940s, where civil rights were such a big thing. And but I do let's I don't know. I don't want to say let's ignore that, but there definitely are heated discussion. I feel like everybody either has him in their top 10 or their bottom 10 presidents. You know, for me, I've liked him more over time because of how he handled World War II and how badly that could have gone if we didn't have an inspirational leader like FDR leading us. Now let's talk about Truman. B tier for me. He was alright, I guess, as a president. Um, Overall, kind of mid. I might move him down to C tier later, depending on how this list ends up working. Dwight D. Eisenhower is A tier for me. Uh, it's a pretty good economically, amazing general during World War II. Um, Pretty good president too. Um, he was sort of a really relaxed general president. You know, of course, he was the second president to be president during the Cold War. Got us through that, and he did believe in the domino effect, which was if one country falls to communism, then the others will soon. So that's the reason we were able to stay strong in the in like in I guess proxy wars around the world. Uh, I was gonna say he fired MacArthur, but that was Truman because of the whole 20 nukes thing. Yeah, but overall, I have a good opinion of him. Now, John F. Kennedy, I have him in top of B tier. Now, I do think if he fulfilled his presidency and went through another term, he might be A tier or C tier for me. Because I think John F. Kennedy, he's the last good president before things got bad. Because we went to Nixon, to LBJ, to Jimmy Carter, and it was a really unstable time in American politics. So he does have this sort of, I guess, feeling of being like the last true American president before things got bad, and then I guess they got good again with Reagan. So that like 20-year period starts with his death. Um, the on civil rights, he was amazing. Economically, I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure during the 60s things were fine. I don't know if it was an economic boom. I don't think it was, but there was no hyperinflation, nothing like that. Uh, One thing he on foreign policy he didn't do too well because of like the Bay of Pigs and stuff like that, which is why I have him in B tier. Actually, him in B tier makes me want to put these two guys in C tier. I'll put him at top. I'll keep him in B tier though. Um, yeah. LBJ, he's probably C tier for me. He didn't do too good. Um, what was it? He signed some sort of civil rights act, which was good, but cost us a ton of money. It wasn't really efficient. I forgot the name of the act. He wasn't the best. but he did beat Goldwater, but he didn't win the what a oh, what election was LBJ in? 1964 election. Yeah, he won in a blowout, but 1968 election map. Yeah, he didn't win the nominee in 1968, right? So then they got a different Democrat. He wasn't too good, incompetent, really, and then that would lead to Nixon winning. Nixon, top of C tier, maybe? Economically, he was pretty good. On civil rights, though, he was uh, pretty sketchy. Um, because back in 1972, what was it? Yeah, he would win in a massive blowout because the economy was good. All went to Nixon. So, but Watergate, he did try to become more better. I guess try to lessen tensions with China, which was good. But civil rights and Watergate hold me back from putting him in B tier. Jimmy Carter, do I put him in D? I'm gonna put him in C tier. He's probably better than LBJ. The reason for this is because he was a good person, which you could, I don't know, you can really say that. Economically awful. Uh, I know gas prices were going crazy and all that stuff, inflation, and then uh, the Iranian crisis. Now that I think about it, I think the policies he stood for were fine. It's just the way he implemented it. Yeah, he's forced. Okay, George Bush, D tier, pretty self-explanatory. Iraq, oil, weapons of mass destruction. You know the deal. Uh, he's probably C tier. Uh, the other Bush, first Bush, he's probably better than. Do I dare put him below Nixon? I don't know. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, of course he was the president that oversaw the USSR collapse, but the economy wasn't good after him. After Reagan had a huge economic boom, and of course the no new taxes thing was pretty bad. Let's talk about Ronald Reagan now. I'm gonna have him in. Could have him top of B tier. Think, I think, I think. I don't. This is where I'll put him. Because he did do some sketchy proxy war stuff where, like, what was it? During the Gulf War, he was selling weapons to Iran, or selling weapons to Iran, but supported Iraq, or something like that. Please tell me in the comments if you know. To like fund other proxy wars, but economically he was amazing. Foreign policy against the Soviet Union was pretty good. I support the peace through strength, um, peace through strength that he supported. And overall, he was a good president. He does still have a few sketchy stuff. Some people don't agree with Reaganomics, talking about trickle down economics don't work, which I sort of agree with that argument. I also sort of agree with the argument that lower taxes help. I'm sort of in the middle right now about whether lower taxes on the wealthy help. I do definitely support low taxes on middle and lower class. I guess you can say I sort of support trickle up economics almost. Because I sort of believe that if you lower taxes on middle class and low class people, then they will buy more of what the ultra wealthy are producing, which then gives the wealthy more money to then invest back into the middle class, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, guess me and him are guess totally different, I guess. I believe in trickle up, he believes in trickle down. Bill Clinton, uh I'll put him in B tier. Although I would say I'd rather Ross Perot had won. But I'll put him in B tier. General Ford, I'll put him in C tier. I gotta start moving some of these guys down. Yeah, that's fine. Barack Obama. Uh, I, I don't know. I'm pretty neutral about him. His immigration policy, uh, is probably how I will want immigration to be conducted. Um, I do support Obamacare. Uh, I do think it has helped overall because of its being of lifetime limits and stuff like that. Although there are some stuff I feel like Obamacare could have fixed that it didn't because of lobbyists and having to make deals with senators and Congress members to get it passed. Of course, that's not Obama's fault. I'm sure Obama wanted a much stronger version of Obamacare, but overall, he was fine. Trump. Where do I want to put Trump? I guess I'll put him in B tier. If you couldn't tell by this tier list, I'm pretty all over on the political compass. B tier. I mean, okay, he has said some crazy stuff, y'all. But as a president, purely on like economic and foreign policy, he's pretty good. So, yeah. Joe Biden. Okay. I think that's where I'm gonna put Joe. Because I do like the CHIP Act that he passed through. My only complaint with that is that the CHIP Act didn't tell the corporations they had to spend the money we gave them in America. Uh, I do support his foreign policy, but I don't like the way he uh, instituted it. Because he is very anti Russian, very uh, anti China. I think he was a much better vice president. He was much better vice president than a president. Uh, so that's gonna land him at C tier for me because, of course, hyperinflation. But there is the argument that hyperinflation couldn't have been avoided because of every country experienced hyperinflation and their economy slowing down greatly from 2020 to 2024. So, or 2023, I would say. So, maybe if Joe Biden was a president, like in 2008, maybe he won the Democratic nominee, I think he would have been better. But, yeah. I'll put Taft. Wait, hold on. Taft. That's not. Wait, hold on. Is that Taft? Let me. Can't. Yeah, that's Taft. That's Taft. I'll put Taft in B tier. And Teddy Roosevelt is also going to get high B tier for me. I do like Teddy Roosevelt's foreign policy. Oh, Woodrow Wilson's F tier for me. Pretty self-explanatory. Not that I'm against us getting involved in World War One. I don't like the way he conducted it. He was also a extreme racist. Um, Overall, he's awful president. Hold on, what does James Madison look like? James Madison. This guy. Fifth president. James Monroe, yeah. Okay. I was getting these two guys down here mixed up. James Madison, I don't know enough about him to really say, but I do like Monroe's foreign policy, so I'm gonna have to put him in high B tier for me. And then everybody else I didn't rank. It's because I don't know enough about them to besides this guy's also F tier because he was the president right before the Civil War, and he's the reason we got us into a Civil War. Anyway, the everybody else I just don't know enough about to really rank them. But here's my tier list of all the presidents I believe I do know enough about to have an opinion on them. Thank you all for watching, and please leave your opinions down in the comments. And if you watch this far, if you could please subscribe. Either way, thank you all for watching, and peace out.